Hi, everybody. Welcome to MVP Office Hours. Today is November 21st, 2025. We're so glad you're here. I've got to say, okay, that we're recording. Um, our upcoming MVP Office Hours for December do not get interrupted by any craziness. So December 5th and December 19th are our next meeting. So our perpetual link should allow you to join today's meeting and the next meeting, bit.ly/MVPOH, all caps. The recordings are available on YouTube. We do meet the first and third Fridays. You can follow Squire and I on LinkedIn. By the way, I didn't even introduce my friend Squire Kirshner. Squire, say hi.
Hi, I'm
And
new to the
myself,
call,
I'm
so
yeah,
yeah.
and I'm Joy Shutters Helding. Um, if you mention us in social media, we like Problem Solve Together, Community Learner, MVP OH, and Squire. What happened to Better Together? I like that one too. We have
Don't
some
know.
upcoming events in the greater community: Agent Force World Tour, London, New York, and Chicago in December. And then the big ones are listed out. We've got TDX, Tableau, Connections, and Dreamforce listed April 15th, May 5th, June 3rd, September 15th, nicely spaced out so that you can get to all of those. And then intermittently, the community conferences link at the bottom. So it's trailhead.salesforce.com/community/conferences will get you to the list of community conferences. Next slide. All right. So we invite everyone to share their experience. If you have insights or ideas to share, you can post your links and resources in the chat. You can raise your hand. Um, Generally, blurting out happens quite a bit, but if you feel like you have something to say, we will recognize a hand raise. Um, the most important thing that you need to remember today is that we are recording the session. Um, right now, you should all close out any windows on your computer that that have any information that should not be shared. Especially if you think you're going to share your screen at any point in time in the next hour. Close those windows. Don't share them. We don't want anyone to get in trouble. We want you all to keep your jobs. This call is being recorded. We also ask that under no circumstances our call be transcribed by any AI tools. We do want to have fun, but let's stay professional and positive and let everyone keep their jobs. The success community is your friend. On the side rail is the QR code to MVP office hours. And if you have Trailhead on your phone, it should come up that way too. But you can get to the community that way. And that's really the best place to post any questions between calls. I think that's it. Next, where are we at? Squire.
We are to our questions. If I the screen
Fantastic.
again. All right. So I was trying to pay attention. Jay, did you join?
I don't see Jay on the call now,
All right.
unless he's the last one on the list. I don't think he is, though.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't see him pop up, so I will make sure to follow up afterwards. Had questions, had a follow-up question about we were commenting at in the last meeting if you weren't here about how flows that do mass updates, there's no guarantee of order of operation, and as a result, it also can sometimes cause record locks. And so he was doing triggered flows off of lead creation to add campaign members, and there was creating record locks. It turned into a conversation about the possibility of using an event, and that's what he was going to ask about. If he comes, we'll talk about it. If he doesn't, we won't. Why don't we jump to Miriam, if you don't mind coming on camera and ask your question about campaigns, and I'll stop sharing and we can talk.
yep. After Squire, after Miriam, we have Bill queued
Okay.
up. Miriam, hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Thanks. I was trying to kind of work out a thing for for someone um where I have the main campaign and then when they respond yes or no, like if they're attending the event, um updating their status. I've been running into an issue where I then can't when I try to send just to the subset of people who responded. It's not filtering correctly or um like the pick list options aren't showing up as options to filter by
Hmm.
if that makes
It does. It
sense.
does. So raise your hand if campaign members killed you for the last 20 years of your career. They are such a weird thing along with statuses and all the other stuff. So let's start at the very top. So the statuses that you're checking are, sorry, I want to make sure we get, oh, thank you, Joy, you grabbed it. The statuses are part of the standard campaign status list. You added them or you're using standard ones. Is that true?
I added them.
Okay. Did you also make sure to include a like the what is there's like a responded checkbox? Is that right? The one that says
Yes.
it's like a positive. So that's included there as well. Okay. So when you then you're running reports and you're just trying to filter on campaign members, or are you trying to run a report of all respondents at the campaign level? Which one are you trying to accomplish?
At the campaign level.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah.
And is it that canned report that's kind of buried on the page of just like I'm trying to, it's been so long since I played, but there used to be a bunch of like standard reports on the campaign page layout that you could just run that was like two respondeds or include like that sort of thing? Or is it like say more about the report you're building?
Um, I mean, I've been doing it on the campaign, yeah, on the campaign page. Um, just kind of trying to follow up with the people that either did respond or did not respond.
Got
So,
it.
yeah.
I sorry, I should ask more clearly. The report you're trying to run, are you building a report from scratch or is it a report that already exists on the campaign page?
Yes, it's a report that already exists.
Okay. So in that report, when you go to campaign or to member status, the statuses you added are not in the possible drop down. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So, how proprietary would the information be if we asked you to share your screen? Because I think it's probably a very, very straightforward answer, but I think we want to see it. Does anybody have an opinion before we do that?
I can't
Yeah,
share that it has student information.
Okay. I appreciate you
that
saying that.
makes sense.
Yeah. So
That's
maybe we can sneak up on it. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab an org, unless someone already has an org that they know has campaign information in it that we could present to kind of walk through and verify what Miriam's dealing with and see if we can sneak up on it. I think,
Squire, do you know who always had an org like just ready to spin up was Dale.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and secondarily Michael, but I didn't see him join.
yes,
Let's
yes, yes.
see here.
I don't think I have was ill prepared for a campaign focus call today, but that was because I had other things going on too. It wasn't just because of that.
Let's see here. And our really silly, well, maybe not silly question. Classic, Lightning,
Lightning.
uh Cosmo, are you on like SLD2 or just standard?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is well here, let's do this. Um this one. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have the rounded corners or the flat corners? Or like the square corners? It doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure we're not sneaking up on something that you're not comfortable looking at. Oh, there's Jay too. He showed up. Awesome. It's probably not super important. So, let's see here. Want to make sure. Yep. Okay. So we've got. So this is just a super generic one, obviously, but from here, you want to write a report to effectively send Tony an email. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what report are you using?
Again, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean
If
by
you
that.
if you if you look at the report, it will probably tell you something like how the report was built. Um, And I'm trying to remember if that is displayed on the reports or not.
Report type is usually in the upper left.
Yep.
It's the tiny letters underneath the title.
Yeah, let
Thank
me get
you.
it
That's
open
exactly
here.
what I meant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you see what does it say right above the title of your report?
He's not in a report right now, but if he goes into one.
Going into one right now.
I'm surprised there's not a standard campaign report in a sandbox. No.
Mm-mm.
Hit all. You're looking at recently used. I hate that.
Isn't
There.
that the just
Yep.
Major pet peeve.
y'all found the words that I wasn't
So
using?
you'll see on his example on the screen, it's the grayed out. That's right. That's the report type.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what I have campaign with, like campaign with campaign members.
Okay.
on it at the
Perfect.
moment.
So then in filter, what are you filtering on?
I'm filtering on campaign name,
Okay.
and the create and filtering on campaign name, basically.
Okay. But to get the members by status, what are you trying to filter on?
Filter on campaign status. On member status.
On member status. Okay, just want to make sure. So these two very easily get swapped around when people are building reports. So I just want to make sure. So you are using campaign status. And in this list, you're saying the statuses that you added aren't showing up.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do a contains and add a value, will it find the value that way? Did you try that? I mean, it shouldn't matter. It's a pick list, but
Yeah, no, I didn't try that. I was just yeah.
Okay.
Let me try that now.
because the other thing we can do is I could jump back into the gibberish campaign I was just in and add the statuses and the members that you did to see if we can reproduce. That the hardest part is going to be reproducing it if you're not able to share.
Miriam, do you have record types for your campaign?
That was in
Yes.
Okay.
And I made sure that they're available on those.
I'm sorry, but campaign member statuses aren't record type driven, are they?
Any pick list value, I always think, is it just
Record
that
types.
it wasn't added to a record type? It's just a standard thing I go through in my brain.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing that I tried.
Sorry I'm late to the party, but what's the question about campaign member statuses? Because I just ran into something related to them a week ago.
So Miriam, do you know Steve Moe?
I do not know.
Okay, so
Fantastic.
Steve Moe is a champion in this space. If he talks, we listen. So, would you mind reiterating the challenge you have and see if Steve's got an idea?
Yeah, I've been trying to filter on campaign member status, but
And what's the
the
report
one
type?
campaigns with campaign members.
Oh, it's the standard one. It's not a custom report type that's actually got that name. Okay.
And I'm filtering by a new, like an added status that a custom status. And the option isn't showing up like in the drop down, but I just did the contains and that just it showed up. So
Okay.
thank you.
And this is the standard campaign member status pick list field where you should usually if you pick like an equals operator in your report filter, because it's a pick list, it'll have like the list of actually pick list value. You don't have to type them in manually. Because the one thing I would say about campaign member status, it's this weird, as far as I know, there's no other animal like it in the Salesforce architecture, in that there's this master uber pick list value set of every member status that has ever been added to any campaign in the entire org. So if you got an old org with in-person events, email campaigns, snail mail campaigns, this, that, the other thing. You could have over the years accumulated this behemoth of a master pick list, but then within each campaign record itself is its own subset of that. So, including custom statuses that have just been added to that campaign themselves. So it is this weird animal that behaves weirdly in reports and report filters and basically anything that touches that field.
And my assumption, Steve, to add on that, like it'll even accept duplicates. Like you'll have
Yep.
So I'm wondering if this just can't scale to infinite status pick list options, and so maybe the rule of thumb is always use contains or equals.
Yeah. And also there's a KI with the contains functions in reports in general, and I don't think it's been resolved yet. Or actually, let me check. I think I got an email about there being a resolution or something, some update on a KI. But there's been this weird thing in the past year where a report that has a contains filter, you go to rerun the report days, weeks later, and contains is no longer a filter criteria. It just disappears from the list of options.
Interesting.
But then it reappears. Like the last time I checked in on the KI, it actually was like the resolution was basically just like wait a few hours and come back.
That's been happening with dynamic pages, the filtering for component visibility as well.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah. Miriam, you found something.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad you have an answer. So this is fantastic. Steve, I can't even believe that you walked in on that like as if on cue. So
interesting little side note to campaign member status. If you're building a custom report type, I don't think you can access the campaign member status field for some reason in a custom report type. So you have to, the solution is to, on the campaign member object, and this is true of other fields too, there's these weird fields that just disappear when you go to a custom report type. So the solution is you create a custom formula field on the campaign member object that basically displays the selected campaign member value.
Mm-hmm.
And that custom field is available to be used in your custom report types. There's a whole bunch of them out there. They're just these random fields that are lurking out there that you'll go to, you'll build a custom report type that's got that object in it, and all of a sudden it's like, where's that field?
I would recommend anyone who does this to use your description on that field heartily. So it doesn't get wiped out. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that was a good one. Miriam, well done. Got a bunch of head scratchers here. Jay, you're here. Hi, Jay. We had you queued up.
Sorry, I'm late. I always have a standing meeting at 1.
All right.
So we're glad you could make it. So we were just saying that you had asked to have a little follow-up conversation on the platform event topic, or actually the record locking topic that you brought up, right?
Yes.
So do you mind bringing everybody up to speed on that specifically? So right from the horse's mouth, so to say. Yeah.
So it's a flow that creates leads, among other things. And the part where it sometimes fails is that directly after it creates a lead, we are adding those leads to a campaign, an existing campaign, as campaign members. And the error that I'm getting on occasion is unable to lock. So basically, where the one lead is being added and another lead is trying to get added, and the campaign is open, so to speak, and unable to, the system is unable to have exclusive access to that new lead that had just got created.
And remind me, you've got a flow that creates the leads, and then a secondary flow that triggers on lead creation to add the campaign member, or it's a subflow, or it's
all one.
Okay.
So subflow was actually something that I was looking at as well as a platform event. But I'm not as well versed on either one of those options.
Sure. And I feel like when we talked last time, are you able to create the campaign members as a collection before you load them, but after the leads are created, or are you using a subflow to create a campaign member after every input? Like walk us through what that flow does.
So it's direct. So there is nothing between creating the lead and creating the campaign member. So it's going through and kind of following through with all of it at one time. And so when it fails, the lead that was like set to it shows it being created, it fails and does not create. So it bombs and everything bombs.
All right. So I feel like, and I haven't been able to reproduce it, but I did want to talk about it some more. So there's a couple of things like kind of fighting for space there, right? So by creating leads in mass, you've got that weird async issue where you don't know the order that they're going in. And so in theory, the trigger set could have things locked, but it doesn't feel like that's where the lock is happening. There's also the same situation on the campaign where as you're creating members, if there's, I trying to remember if there's a native one, but if do you have anything in place that's doing roll-ups from members to campaigns as they're being added that wouldn't be standard?
No.
No, so no additional triggers on the member creation piece of it.
Correct.
Do you know, do you have certainty of where the lock is occurring? Like which object?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's occurring on the campaign.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm able to see where that a lead has gotten created and it's trying to get added to the campaign, and that's where it's failing.
Got it. All right. So I feel like I don't want to say, well, first of all, I'm going to stop talking for once this call. I'd love to hear if anybody else has got some ideas, but I was going to suggest either leveraging platform events so that you could then decompose the campaign assignment, a campaign member creation from the lead creation. It might be too much. So before we jump into that, does anybody else have any ideas?
Just a queuable should do that too, right?
Say more.
So like if I'm doing it from like a trigger, I would add it into like a queuable class and have it call that.
So that would require programmatic.
That would bring programmatic in.
Yeah, okay. All right. So so from that perspective, maybe for the room, in case not everybody's on the same page. So queuable give us some more detail about what queuable would do if you were to write code.
If I were to write code, so in that trigger, I would set up, the list or the records that I need to send to that queuable, I would call it, and then it like goes to a queuable, list of things, queue, and it runs when like it gets a chance to, kind of on it. It's just not running in the same, basically the same transaction as your original. And so, I mean, there's definitely some considerations you have to give for that it's an asynchronous process is what it is, Rohan.
And when I run into a record lock, I do a 1 minute pause and make that part of the flow run 1 minute later.
And that's what I've done. That is like the first thing that was successful, or the only thing that's been successful is I've added a delay, but unfortunately, the delay is 1 minute long, and that is quote unquote too long of a delay for us.
Oh.
How many leads are you loading? Like, is there a ballpark that's causing the lock?
I'd say 80, 100 leads at a time.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not something that I can test with one or two. It won't work. It won't fire that error. But it is something where kind of en masse or more than I would say 60, more than 50 probably, where the system is just tied up at the moment. I need a second.
And the flow is a record triggered flow on something?
It is an auto launch flow.
Auto launch. So,
So
so if you do make it an asynchronous path, it still doesn't free it up?
my understanding was that for auto launch flows, uh, uh, creating an asynchronous path is not an option.
Oh,
But that was Google and that was AI. So
well, let's take a quick look. I thought it was only on record triggered, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
if, as we all know, if you ask AI enough times, it'll give you the answer that you're looking for.
Just like it's in the last place you look for something when it's lost. Yes. Yes.
But I mean, I think it's really, I mean, what Linda was talking about is kind of what I was suggesting to do. There's lots of ways to effectively make this asynchronous, which is why you've got a lock, right? You've got a synchronous process. So how do we make that happen? So let's see here. So you've got a auto launch flow. Come on. I'm trying to do something on the side, but rather than bore everybody with my clicks, I just thought I'd open it up. Yeah. So you don't have that configuration step to make it asynchronous. So just hypothetically, but not saying it's the solution. So the event-driven pattern that I was suggesting would be part of your flow would be to create the leads, and then for each one of them also create a platform event. So you create a custom platform event that stores the detail that you want in order to then feed the campaign. And then you'd have a secondary flow that listens for every event as they come in, and it would do on a one-by-one basis, add them. And so you'd have the handoff of as soon as the leads are created, all the events would hit, and then you'd pick it up. So you wouldn't actually create a delay. There would be a delay, but it wouldn't be that minute. It would be within the context of how long it takes for the commit to happen, for the events to commit, so that then the record trigger or the event triggered flow would take off. It's doing what Linda was describing, but with flows and events rather than a queuable Apex class.
All right, but he's saying it works with the weight. I don't know if you've tried this. We have in our org, this is like the weirdest thing, but we literally have an OR component that is basically empty. So an OR component created that has a like the CMP file, it basically just says it's available for Lightning flows. In the JavaScript controller, all it has is a function that basically writes to the console log some text. We throw that in a flow and it acts as a really short pause. We actually called it a flow create separate transaction.
Right, because that OR component has to resolve itself outside of the execution context of the flow. So then it actually starts a new interview, right?
Right. So, but like we literally have that in the middle of some flows to keep them moving. And
who else has got ideas? I mean, I feel like we're dancing around the same idea, which is we just have to have more time for the lock to close. But is it fair? Oh, Mike, if someone's got an idea, it's Mike Reynolds.
I just showed up. Catch me up. What I missed?
100 records is such a momentary hiccup in the life cycle of Salesforce. A record lock in that context seems really unlikely. So, Jay, do you want to give Mike the rundown, or do you want me to try?
I can.
Okay.
Hopefully shorter this time for everybody else's sake, but definitely appreciate Mike looking into this as well. Lead flow is creating leads and immediately afterwards being added to a campaign as campaign members. Getting an unable to lock error because after the first one, the second one tries to come in and the first one is still being added.
So you're inserting multiple leads What are the leads related to?
What are
Do
the
they have,
leads?
yeah, are there any are there any related records, any type of parent record?
Yes, yes. Great question.
Okay.
So the leads are they have a related account lookup on the lead
Yeah.
object.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Would that be causing the campaign lock though?
Oh, absolutely could, because it does. It's not the campaign that we're worried about. It's the actual the ultimate parented record. So if I have when we're working with large volumes of data, not that this is a large volume of data, but you take the principle from large volume data.
Put it
Working
all
with large
together.
volume of data, right? One of the things that we want to do is we want to always sort by primary key or by a related parenting record. Because when we're inserting a child, I lock the parent. And so in the same transaction, if I start out with, like in theory, record number 1, I lock parent 1, I do record number 2. If record number 2 is for parent 2, but record number 3 is for parent 1, my process will fail. So we want to always sort in such a way that I'm grouping all of my parents. And then even after that, there's another concept called PK chunking or primary key chunking.
Sorry to interrupt, but so that wouldn't be the case in our instance. We're using person accounts. And so these leads are being created from a person account, and they're all like unique.
You say it's being created from a person account
though?
So we're copying information from a person account into a lead, but we wouldn't have a scenario where there's 2 leads being created for 1 person account.
Okay, but who's the campaign member?
The campaign member is going to be the lead that just
right,
got created.
but campaign also is a child record potentially of account. So you are creating a lead which is a child of account, and now you're trying to add another object, another record on another object that is also parented by that same account record.
I agree. Make the campaign member an asynchronous path that happens 0 seconds later, and it'll work.
Right,
because you're giving it a fresh transaction.
He's in an auto launch, so
you can still in queue. So you want to get it into. You might have to do something a little fancy to get it out. Depends on the total process, but you want to get this into its own transaction. And so we're going to enqueue it somehow. We're using native flow tools. We're going to go with an asynchronous path. That should be sufficient. You might have to do some fancy Apex to just say, hey, run another flow in a second, right? That's fairly straightforward to do if you invoke. But you need a new transaction because you are actually getting record lock because you're trying to do too many things that hit the same records that are already being locked by the current transaction.
Okay.
So do it in a second, and I think it'll work.
So let me jump in here really, Mike, because to do that, you either have to write in code, which Jay's not doing, or you have to have an asynchronous path, which you can't do from an auto launch flow.
So if you can use 2 flows, like if you're okay using 2 flows, we have a field that's a flow anchor in order to be able to trigger our scheduled path. So you can
use trickery. And that works. Trickery works. I like this plan.
So we update applications and then update contacts after, but I had a problem where using last modified on that scheduled path was registering as being in the past, and it wanted me to set it for like an hour later. So instead we created this scheduled flow anchor field that sets that field to now plus 1 minute, and we run the scheduled path off of that field. So I don't know if you could use that maybe to trigger a second flow, like where you're using an anchor field to schedule your asynchronous path instead of
so is this like a subflow are you talking about?
No, this is
second flow.
Yeah, well, for me, it's triggering my scheduled path within the same flow, but it sounds like since you're using a different type of flow, maybe you'd have to call a second flow to add your campaign members. I'm not really sure, but I think that creating this flow anchor field could let you trigger an asynchronous process without code. Is
Okay.
kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you could actually just have a new flow on lead that when a lead is created that meets your criteria,
Right.
0 seconds later, you'd add it to the campaign that makes the most sense, derived based on whatever facts you have. All you're looking for is a separation of your lead insert and your campaign member insert processes, because they are joined by a locked record, which is the account. And I don't think you can avoid that because of the relationships involved.
Okay. I got a couple things to try out, so I appreciate it.
We'll make the recording
Yeah.
available as soon as we can, right, Squire?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. This is the second walk into an answer. Like Steve Moe did that right before you showed up, Mike.
Yeah.
You guys are cracking me up. Who's
Well,
going to show up for Bill?
That's what I was just gonna say.
It's Steve's turn.
I don't think anybody at this point.
Bill, what do you want to give us a
Yeah.
description of what you're working with?
Yeah, absolutely. For obvious reasons, really can't share anything, but what I've got is an opportunity report, and it's a custom report type, as far as I can tell, because it's opportunities with or without our custom object attached to the opportunity. And we've got a number of dollar fields on here, but actually some of which, after doing a little more research, might be numbers. But what I'm trying to do, at the request of course, the business, is they want to take off the decimal places, and we're trying to do this just in the report. We're not trying. I mean, I usually obviously could go back to the field, change the decimal places from 16.2 to 16.0, and we're all set. But we're trying to do this in the report. So what I tried to do was create, I tried a bunch of different functions using a summary formula in a report. That, I looked at round, I looked at trunk, I looked at floor, and a lot of times, there were a bunch of times I could create the thing, but then when I go look at the report, there's nothing in the column. And I have no idea why.
And you're using report summary formulas in the report, right? Not like, because you only get one row level formula per report.
Right. Yeah. So because row level is not even an option for me. So it's probably used somewhere else in the report.
And it's just, and so these summary formulas are just like a straight, like, okay, so you got 5 of these currency fields that are displaying decimals. You wanted to display whole numbers. So it's like summary formula 1, just give me give me dollar amount field 1 and display it as 0 decimals. Result type equals currency, not number. So it's apples to apples. And it's still not dropping. Well, I know it's not dropping the decimal. It's dropping the actual.
It's not giving me anything, honestly, Steve.
Oh. And are these is it every field or only the field? Like,
tried a couple. I mean, there are a number of them, Steve. But I've tried 2 or 3, and I keep getting the same type of result.
Are all the fields that you're trying to convert on this custom object, or are they in the opportunity object?
There's at least one that I know of in the custom object. Then there's one, I know there's one, because I'm working about 2 different ones right now anyway. And one's on the opportunity and one's on financial, the other side, the custom object.
Okay. So the report type.
Yeah.
So the report type, the record has to have an opportunity. It's not a with or without opportunities, with or without custom object. It's a with opportunities, with or without custom object. Because if it's a with or without opportunities, my gut instinct is that it's that with or without relationship somehow, like when there's no opportunity record, the summary formula just brain freezes. But if it was like
I wonder
But
if
if
the name of the report was flipped.
it's just a custom report type. Could you change one of the relationships to with and see if your report summary formula
or just
works in
or just do
that one?
opportunities and amount? You just got to get it to work once to verify.
Yeah. And that's just a hunch. I just know that like with or without can cause some problems with like, then there's a whole bunch of, knowledge articles out there, all about different variations of, I built a custom report type and I'm getting nothing, or I'm only supposed to be getting a subset, but I'm getting everything. Like all these wonky, I love custom report types, especially with the new report type editor, but there's still some weird behaviors in there.
Just so you know, Steve, it is opportunities with or without this custom object.
Okay, so
can you verify that it's not just that in name?
Yeah. Go into the layout editor. Exactly. Good catch. Go into the Venn diagram.
Could someone have just maybe named it backwards?
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, let me go to custom report types real quick. As long as I can.
And I'm firing up my
just as a
my dev org right now just to see.
Okay, opportunities with or without financial instruments. All right, it is. It's opportunities with or without related records from this financial instruments object. And I'm looking at the Venn diagram like guys were talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
And so every record, every account or whatever in this report absolutely positively has to have an opportunity in it, but an opportunity formula that should be displaying a currency field with no decimals is not, it's again, not returning a bad result. It's returning no result, which is also bad.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I like the idea, by the way. I will definitely try to just like maybe a straight opportunity report and try and do that to the field, add the fields in that I need and try that way just to see if I can get the thing to work. That's a step I haven't taken. So I'll definitely try that. And I might try there. I think I'm looking at report types. There might be like a opportunities with financial instruments. No, maybe there isn't. So maybe I create a custom report type and just say it's opportunities with financial instruments, and then try it again and see if that helps. That's another idea. So thank you. Right.
So just to make sure, this is the sort of thing you're trying to accomplish, right? Like I pulled an amount and I just rounded it to one decimal or to one value. What's the formulas you were trying to use?
I did try round. I tried trunk. I tried floor.
Okay.
And I just had to look. So
right.
There's
And is it and in your case, this is just a blank column, unlike my sample that when you run yours?
Yeah, right. When I would run it and look at the actual column, I give it, I give the formula a name, call it test, whatever. But that test column is.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
All right. I'll try a couple of those. Those might be good ideas. So I appreciate it, folks.
Yeah, it'd be great to know if it has something to do with the report type, because it just feels like if the data column is there, then the formula should work. But
funny thing is, I created a report summary formula, and I just inserted opportunity amount, sum, result, currency, decimal, 0, and it still returns decimals. So
yeah, because I don't get to convert it to number as well. Otherwise, it still thinks it's currency.
Yeah. I think that's. Let me just go in and edit my result, change it to a number.
But does it round or truncate, or does the decimal still got
Nope, you're
value
right.
in it?
When I win a chicken dinner, Squire. Changed my result to number, and my decimals went bye.
So could you
But
say
I mean, so
currency
113
requires
to 1 right now, so I'm catching
up. So we've proven the theory that using a report summary formula that returns a number result instead of currency with 0 decimals does strip off the decimals from a currency field. Now we got to figure out, why is Bill's summary formula not returning anything? Like, and again, I my gut.
Is that a
And the thing is, like,
calculation with 0 somehow? Like,
my gut's leading me towards the fact that it's a custom report type, and that one of the objects, even though he's got this field on an opportunity, but one of the objects is a with or without relationship. Is there anything in your filters that reference the object that may or may not be there?
No, it's stuff like
No.
all opportunities, target close date, close date, whether it's closed or not,
Okay.
and then PI type, line of business, target role. They're all in the opportunity object.
Do you have multi-currency set up?
No.
No. Okay. That's a good one to get burned on too, because of the multi-column. So, all right.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Well, no, I got a couple of things to go on, so I really appreciate it.
Right. We'll see you in 2 weeks. You can tell us how you solved it, right?
Deal.
All right.
fantastic.
I mean, at least you know your theory is sound on the report summary formula thing. That's a code-free way to get rid of your decimals. So that's solid. It's now we just got to figure out what's causing this behavior.
What else is going on, right? Yeah, and I like the idea of going back down to the basics and maybe just doing an opportunity report and pulling in a dollar field or two and trying to make that work. And if that works, then then the report type might be the issue. And I might try just creating a report type where it's opportunities with the custom object and see if that makes a difference. Because the with or without, you're perfectly right, could be throwing things off.
You could also do it at that lower level too, like run a singular object at that attack the child. Like maybe there's something unique about the child data fields themselves.
Custom object report. Yep. Gotcha.
They're not formulas, are they?
No.
Ooh.
I looked at those, and that's what I was looking at, and no, they're just regular fields.
Right.
Yeah, that good call, Squire, because there are, even if it's not the cause of this, there are cases of report formulas that reference formula fields not displaying the expected result because of just a lag in the formula field doing its thing, and then the report formula being able to do its thing with the thing it might be waiting on. I know that in theory they should work, but I've never been a fan of using a formula field that references another formula field, especially in like validation rules and stuff like that. Just take the formula that's in your formula field and put that in your validation rule if possible.
Yeah, that weird at runtime gotcha. It's every single time it'll get you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like Salesforce, in their formula and validations best practices guide, they mention not using the compound. Well, I don't know if that's really a compound field, but is closed or is one on an opportunity or a case. They don't say why. It'd be nice if they had a note on why, but they clearly say don't use those in validation rules. And it's always been my guess that there's a nanosecond in between, or that the master order of operations, because validation rules are pretty high up when you think of it. I was shocked that they are like they're somewhere in the middle-ish. And so my guess is that in the instant between the users moving the opportunity from a
district
open
is in rural
from an open stage to a closed stage, hitting save on that record, the validation rule takes a look at that record. The closed checkbox has not been set yet, so it says, oh, this is open, this thing's good, and then record gets saved, And right before it gets saved, then the checkbox gets set to closed equals true, and now you get a bad record. It's never going to be, identified until a user goes back after the fact and edits it and then tries to save it. There's
Bless you.
It's never been, it'd be nice if Salesforce explained the why behind it, but at least they do have it in their validation rule tips and best practices.
Yeah. And another one of those things that we need to add to your quick lists, everybody. I never did post that. I should have posted that.
We will. We're gonna
master order, and actually there's a couple of different versions. I think Developer Force had an order of operations that had like 30 steps in it or something like that.
Yeah, it's the one that's linked to Architect is
there. Yeah, Rohan posted it up. Salesforce order of execution. We did have a solid suggestion in the chat, Squire, that you missed, Steve, that you missed, is that we do a live MVP office hour.
Well, that'd be fun.
Well, I tried last go round. I was in Florida, but y'all were, I didn't have the audience I needed. We will try this. I don't know.
Years ago in the before, we used to have that MVP table at the Dreamin' events. People could just come up and interact. It was the best. It was the best.
Midwest Dreamin' this year, they did like an Ask the Expert, but it was like in a room. It was like tables of people just kind of sitting and waiting for people to come in.
Yeah.
It was experts talking to each other.
Yeah. It wasn't
fun.
I think it was like my Dreamforce 10 or 11. They had like the Answers Community Live. Just open mic. It was kind of like True to the Core, but with because you didn't know what somebody was going to walk up and say.
Was that with Brian Kwong? I feel like he did that.
I did one with Matt Brown and another one with Francis Pinder and Geraldine Gray. They did it for a few years.
We'll see.
But the thing is, you had no idea what somebody was going to say. It was really like True to the Core. You could get somebody that goes up there and they go on a half-hour rant about the pothole on their street and why it hasn't been paved over, or like angry town meeting.
I mean,
that's what I tell people who's never been to True to the Core at Dreamforce. I was like, it's the angry town meeting of Salesforce.
Honestly, Steve, that's how Square and I feel when we show up here. We never know what's coming at us. So that's why I got to start with things like candy and side dishes and desserts. Otherwise, I mean.
By the way, what was the
favorite hour of the week?
I was late to the dance. What was the? Did we have a clear winner on?
We didn't. No, we didn't have a clear poll on that. So, okay. But if you have feedback, I'd love to hear it because
like I said, like
dressing and pumpkin pie.
I'm stuffing over mash, but it's a photo finish, and I think it's only because I have mashed multiple times throughout the year, fried chicken and mash, or some variation on mashed and a baked potato, whatever. Stuffing just screams Thanksgiving. It's just a treat. It's a joy. I'm not gonna 4th of July. I'm not whipping up a batch of stuffing. I'm sorry.
Well,
that would be un-American.
I'll bring it. I'll bring it with me. We are just about out of time, friends. And so just a reminder, our next meeting is December something. Is it 5th? Is that right?
Yep.
December 5th. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Solid. For those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving, make sure you wear stretchy pants. If that's the way you roll. Otherwise, eat healthy and do your 5K in the morning, do your thing. But I think that's it. I think that's it, Squire.
Yeah. I think maybe the last thing is, I'm thankful for you, Joy, and for everyone on the call and for everyone who shows up every week. I'm not even kidding. This is the best hour of my week every time. So thank you all for being part of that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Right. Don't have to go home, but you know the drill.
What if we're already at home?
Oh wait. That's where I am. All right, friends. We'll see you later. Bye.
Take care, all.
Go to the next room.
Bye. Pat, I want your mac and cheese recipe. Bye.
Bye, Al. Stop.